Welcome to Zoe Stories. My followers think I'm a girl, so do I.
Part 2.
I sat in the silence after that kiss, the echo of Emma's presence still hanging in the room long after she left. Her fingers had brushed mine, her lips had touched mine, and yet I couldn't tell if it meant forgiveness or goodbye. The next morning, my inbox exploded. New follower at MakeupQueen1212. Comment from @SamanthaSilk. You're glowing today, girl. DM from Emma. Can we talk later?
Just talk.
I stared at the message like it was radioactive. That entire day, I didn't dress up. I didn't stream. I didn't even look in the mirror. Without the makeup, the wig, the soft curves I'd learned to create, I felt unfinished. But part of me still feared I'd pushed Emma too far. When she arrived that evening, she looked calm. A little guarded. No makeup. Hoodie. She looked like someone preparing for a confrontation they weren't sure they wanted to have. She sat on the couch. I took the chair. We didn't speak for 30 seconds, which felt like a year. Then, Ryan, she began, her voice deliberate. I didn't come to fight. I know. She tilted her head. Studied me. You looked happy last night. More alive than I've seen you in months. I bit my lip. I didn't mean for it to go this far. But it has. She folded her hands in her lap. So, what are we going to do about it? That question. Not what are you going to do, but we. I looked her in the eye. My voice barely held. Do you want me to stop? She hesitated. And then, I don't know, but I want to understand. And with that, the wall cracked. The following days felt surreal, like walking a tightrope over a chasm of uncertainty. Emma hadn't turned away. Instead, she lingered, sometimes watching me quietly as I got ready, other times simply sitting beside me without saying a word. It was a fragile piece, a delicate balance I dared not upset. I still wore the clothes, still applied the makeup. But now, I did it in the soft glow of our bedroom, not the privacy of my solo sanctuary. It felt different, like I was inviting her into a world I'd kept locked away. And she was stepping in, hesitantly. One morning, Emma reached out and touched my cheek while I was putting on eyeliner. Her fingers were warm, gentle. I'm still trying to understand all this, she said softly. But I want you to know, I'm here, for whatever this is. That made my heart race. I wanted to tell her everything. The fears, the joy, the rush of being seen as me in a way I never had before. But the words caught in my throat. Instead, I smiled and whispered, thank you. Our routine changed. I started streaming again, but with Emma sometimes lurking quietly behind the camera, watching. My followers didn't know the real Emma, the woman whose eyes flickered with curiosity and confusion whenever I shifted into my feminine persona. One evening, as the chat exploded with compliments, Emma leaned over and asked, do you think they see you as a girl, or as you? That question echoed inside me longer than the stream lasted. But peace was fragile. One afternoon, while Emma was at work, I heard a knock. Heart pounding, I froze. A neighbor, Mrs. Garcia, a woman with sharp eyes and a sharp tongue, smiled tightly at the door.
Oh.
I didn't expect to see you like this, Ryan, she said, eyes flicking over my carefully done makeup and skirt. I forced a laugh. Just trying something new. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Well, just be careful. You never know who's watching. That warning lingered as Emma came home early that day, a surprise visit that nearly shattered my carefully crafted world. She found me changing clothes in the living room. Not a word was spoken at first, just a tense silence thick enough to suffocate. Finally, Emma said, I want to try something. Let me see what it's like. Before I could respond, she grabbed a brush and started applying mascara on me. Her hands were steady but hesitant. As she finished, she looked up at me and whispered, I think I get it now. But the fragile truce had a cost. I could see it in Emma's eyes, a mixture of love, fear, and uncertainty. The question was no longer just about me. It was about us. The fragile truce we'd built felt like walking on ice, beautiful but dangerously thin. Emma's quiet acceptance was a relief, but beneath it, I sensed a storm brewing. One evening, as we sat curled on the couch, she surprised me. "Ryan," she said carefully, "I want to see you fully." My heart skipped. "What do you mean?" She bit her lip, a nervous smile tugging at her mouth. "I want to dress you up, like you do for your streams. But this time, not just here at home. I want you to go out like that." The words hung heavy in the air. My breath hitched. My mind raced. "Go out? Public? Are you serious?" I whispered. Emma nodded, eyes locked on mine. "I want to understand you better. And maybe see what the world sees." The days that followed were a whirlwind of preparation and anxiety. Emma helped me pick an outfit, a sleek, elegant dress I'd never dared to wear outside. She did my makeup with a skill that surprised me, turning my nervousness into something electric. "Look at you," she smiled, stepping back. "You're stunning." I felt exposed, vulnerable, but alive. The mirror reflected someone new, someone daring to break free. The night of our planned outing, my heart hammered in my chest. Emma held my hand as we walked toward the city's bustling downtown. People passed us, some glancing with curiosity, others with nothing but indifference. My steps felt light and strange in heels, but Emma's steady presence grounded me. We stopped at a cozy cafe, where Emma introduced me as her girlfriend. The moment was surreal. I was her, and she was proud to show me off. But the public was unpredictable. A man at the next table stared openly. His eyes were sharp, calculating. "Hey," he said, loud enough for us to hear. "Nice dress. Are you really a girl?" Emma's grip tightened on my hand. I froze, caught between fear and defiance. "I am," Emma said calmly, shooting him a protective glare. The man smirked and walked away, leaving a charged silence behind. Walking back home, I felt a mix of exhilaration and dread. Emma whispered, "You were incredible tonight. I think this is just the beginning." And with those words, the fragile new world we were building took its first real step toward something bigger and more dangerous. The night after our daring outing, the thrill lingered like a secret electric current. But the fragile confidence I'd built was about to shatter. I woke to a sharp buzz, my phone lighting up with a message from an unknown number. "Saw you last night. We need to talk." My heart sank. Who could it be? Was my secret no longer mine to keep? The message came with a location, a nearby cafe. Trembling, I debated ignoring it. But curiosity and dread tangled inside me. Emma urged, "You have to face this, Ryan. You can't run." At the cafe, a man waited, calm and confident. His gaze held no judgment, only cold calculation. "I'm Marcus," he said smoothly. "I know about you. About your other life." I swallowed, trying to steady my voice. "What do you want?" Marcus smiled thinly. "Opportunity, but also control." He explained he worked in social media security and had stumbled upon my streams. He wasn't here to shame me, but to leverage my secret for his gain. "I can make sure you stay hidden if you cooperate." Fear and desperation clashed inside me. Could I trust him? Could I refuse? Emma, who had quietly arrived, placed a hand on my shoulder. "We'll face this together." Marcus's proposition came with conditions: meet him, provide access, and maintain the charade publicly, while privately, he'd manipulate us. The chilling reality sank in. My secret was no longer mine. It was a bargaining chip in a dangerous game. That night, as I sat dressed and vulnerable, the mirror reflected not just a person in a dress, but someone caught in a web far bigger than themselves. The days blurred into a tense, suffocating routine. Marcus's shadow hung over every stream, every quiet moment at home. His demands felt like chains tightening around my secret life, a life I was just beginning to embrace. Emma was my rock, but even her unwavering support couldn't erase the gnawing fear. One night, alone in our dimly lit living room, I stared at the reflection in the mirror. The girl staring back at me was confident, beautiful, but trapped. Who am I really? The question echoed louder than ever. Marcus's threats escalated. One misstep, and your secret goes public, he warned in cold texts. The danger was real, the stakes impossibly high. Emma tried to shield me, but the pressure cracked even her resolve. Then came the breaking point. During a live stream, a sudden power outage plunged the room into darkness. Panic surged as viewers flooded the chat, suspicious and eager. I scrambled to restore the light, heart pounding, hands shaking. The line between my two selves blurred. Was I Ryan or the girl my followers adored? Emma's voice cut through the chaos. You're more than one label. You're both. And that's strength. With trembling hands, I lit a candle and smiled, choosing to own my truth in the dark. The chat exploded with support, but the fear remained. Marcus's final move was still unknown. That night, as we sat together, Emma whispered, "Whatever comes next, we face it as one." The candlelight flickered against the walls, casting shadows that seemed to dance between who I was and who I wanted to be. Marcus hadn't contacted me since the blackout on the stream. Was it relief? Or something worse? Emma sat beside me, her hand warm and steady, but the silence felt heavy, like waiting for a storm. Suddenly, the phone vibrated on the table. A new message from Marcus. Last chance. Meet me tomorrow, or your secret becomes everyone's truth. A cold shiver ran through me. The choice was clear, but terrifying. I looked at Emma, searching for courage in her eyes. She nodded, fierce and unwavering. We face this together, she said. As the screen fades to black, I turn to you, my viewers. What would you do if your deepest secret was at risk? Would you hide, fight, or embrace your truth no matter the cost? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think will happen when I meet Marcus? And how should I confront this next challenge? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because this is just the beginning. The message from Marcus burned in my mind like wildfire. Last chance. Meet me tomorrow, or your secret becomes everyone's truth. The weight of those words crushed me. Emma's hand in mine was the only thing keeping me grounded. Her eyes, fierce and steady, said everything without words. We're in this together. Morning came slow, dragging anxiety behind it. Every moment felt like walking on a razor's edge. I kept imagining worst-case scenarios. My secret splashed across every social feed, my life shredded in public. But hiding wasn't an option anymore. The cafe Marcus had chosen was small and tucked away, far from prying eyes. Emma insisted on coming with me, her presence both a shield and a reminder of what was at stake. As we entered, Marcus was already there, his calm demeanor hiding something sharp and dangerous. He stood up as we approached, a slight smile playing on his lips. You're braver than I thought. I swallowed hard, trying to keep my voice steady. What do you want, Marcus? He leaned in, voice low but firm. Control, Ryan. Your secret is power. Power I can help you manage. But only if you play by my rules. The air thickened with tension. I realized this was more than a deal. It was a battle for who would own my truth. Emma's grip tightened on my hand. We won't be your puppets, she said, eyes blazing. Marcus laughed softly. We'll see. That moment sealed a new chapter. One where trust was fragile, danger was close, and the fight for identity had only just begun. The cafe's air felt thick with unspoken threats as Marcus slid a folder across the table. The papers inside weren't just contracts. They were shackles disguised as promises. Here, Marcus said, voice smooth but cold. Sign this, and I guarantee your secret stays safe. Refuse, and everything you've built collapses. I glanced at Emma, searching for a lifeline in her eyes. She squeezed my hand, silently telling me to hold on. I forced myself to read the terms. Marcus wanted access to my streaming accounts, personal data, even offline meetings to guide my public image. It was invasive, controlling, but if I refused, the fallout could be catastrophic. My mind spun with fear and fury. Could I bargain? Was there a way out? Emma's voice cut through my turmoil. You want to control us, Marcus. But you don't control her, the real me. And you won't control him either. Marcus smiled, almost amused. I don't need to control you both, just the story you tell the world. The power play felt suffocating. I realized the fight wasn't just to keep my secret, it was to reclaim my own narrative. For a moment, I pictured the girl in the mirror, confident, unbreakable. Could I be that person not just in private, but in the public eye too? I looked up, voice steady despite the pounding in my chest. We'll sign, but on our terms. We decide what's shared and when. Marcus raised an eyebrow, intrigued. Negotiation. Interesting. As the deal was struck, tension didn't fade, it sharpened. I'd stepped deeper into a dangerous game, but this time, I held some cards. The next steps would test every part of me. My courage, my identity, and the trust between Emma and me.